Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. Today we're going to be playing something a little bit different. We're playing Core Pauper, which is a Pauper event that's being held by GN42. This event is a no supplemental sets event. So anything that was standard or an expansion set. So no Modern Horizons, no Commander Legends, none of that stuff. So no Swift Spear, but we also have a bunch of cards that are part of this specific deck that I'm playing, which is Blue-White Familiars that are not legal either. Those are Ash Barrens and Ephemerate, as well as Nature's Chant. So we're going to be playing Evolving Wilds for our 6 fetches, 4 Zora's Chanceries, 2 Plains, Mortuary Mire, and 8 Islands. You can see there's no Ephemerate in the deck, which means I probably want to just combo off because it's going to be a lot harder to lock people out of the game with Flicker or Counterspell combo. So what I'm doing is bringing the 2 Prosperous Pirates, and these allow me to make infinite treasures. So I can, with 2 familiars in play, I can flicker Arcane Mancer and Prosperous Pirates. Prosperous Pirates creates 2 treasure tokens when it enters the battlefield. That gives me infinite mana, and I can dome my opponent with Compulsive Research to make them draw their entire deck. I can also simply attack with the Modern Age and Muldrifter, which is probably going to be my plan A, but we want to be able to have our non-combat win condition. Also have 1 Prismatic Strands in the main, and then I'm focusing on negates specifically because I think what's going to interrupt me the most is non-creature spells versus creatures, since we don't have Monarch or Initiative in the format. And then over here in the sideboard, I'm playing 2 Circle of Protection blue because Tolarian Terror still exists, 4 Hydroblast, 1 more negate, and 1 Counterspell. Counterspell can be a way to lock out our opponent if they're on a deck where we want to try to do that. We're also playing 3 Disenchants. Can't play Nature's Chant anymore, so I decided to play Disenchant. And then 1 more Prismatic Strands. This can be used for aggro decks like Bogles or for red decks. And then with Affinity not having bridges, Gorilla Shaman becomes a lot better. It's basically 1 mana destroy target artifact land. And then we're splashing with it Snow-Covered Mountain to get the Gorilla Shaman. So that's the deck. I do enjoy Prosperous Pirates combo, so we'll see if this plays out well for us. Hopefully it's fun. I appreciate GN42 for doing this. I think it's important for people that get bored to try new things and see what would happen. It always gives more data, more depth to the experience, and kind of can show the people what's good or bad about the format, or maybe what we miss. Well, it's a good experiment for sure. I also enjoy doing no bans sometimes. All right, so that is the deck. If you like familiars and you want to check out more information about it for the current Pauper format that does exist, check out patreon.com/calicais. Look at the pinned video on my channel for all the explanation about how to play it. And you can support me by giving a like and subscribe, leaving a comment, letting me know what you thought and how I misplayed. We'll see you in the matches. Okay, we're here in round 1 versus Cornetto, who's on green-black mill. We can see their deck. They're playing Crypt Rats, Fangin' Marauder. That's kind of scary with the Crypt Rats. Candy Grapple, Candy Trail, Deadly Dispute. This Ghoul Caller's Bell is how they mill us out. And then kind of the Deadly Dispute Ichor Wellspring package. Lots of ways to just get rid of our stuff. Crypt Incursion is an interesting one we got to think about. It's basically like Golgari Gardens. So we might want to try to win from hand. We're going to just play the Terramorphic and pass the turn. And then I'll crack for an island, and then I can play the Modern Age. Okay, Candy Trail. For a second I thought that was in Lord of the Rings. I played against this deck before, and it was very scary. But we have an infinite combo. Okay, they got more green mana. Island, pass. Okay, I think I'm going to play the island, play Modern Age, and just discard this Plains. Next turn I can discard the other island, snap their creature, and then play the Modern Age, or just discard the island, play Chancery, play Modern Age. They have a black mana now with the Bajuka Bog, and plays Ichor Wellspring. Okay. So we have the second Pirates. Still think it's better to discard the island. Play the Chancery, pick up the island. Then we can play the Modern Age again. think I'm going to discard the Evolving Wilds. It's mostly okay to just discard lands most of the time. So we have part of our combo. So Sunscape Familiar with Prosperous Pirates can make infinite life with an Archaeomancer and a Flicker. So now they have a treasure token, so if they have a 1 mana spell, now they have 2 mana, plays a Ghoul Caller spell, each player mills a card. Alright. Draw. You can discard Preordain or Snap. I think it's going to be the Preordain. Play a land. Oops. This comes back. Play a land. Play this Familiar. Go ahead and snap a plant. It looks like they're F6'd. So we can go Drifter, Snap, Drifter, or just cast Mull Drifter. I think I'm just going to cast it. Maybe I should just go for more in play. It looks like they might not have a 1 mana spell. I'll evoke and snap it. Extra cards. Snap. Untap, untap. Okay. So 2 snaps are in the graveyard now. We can cast a Mull Drifter. Draw 2 more cards. Now we have Flicker and Mortuary Mire. It's very good to have the Mortuary Mire in hand because now we can play it and get creatures back. So if they mill an Archaeomancer, we can mire it back, draw it with a Deep Analysis, and then go off. They Candy Grapple the Sunscape Familiar. We can mire back the Familiar, draw 2 with the Deep Analysis, and replay the Familiar. It's going to be hard for them to beat. Alright, let's go Mortuary Mire, get back the Familiar, say yes here, and then I'm going to draw 2. We do lose 3 life, which can be scary if they have the Crypt Rats. And I'm going to attack for 4. Right now, if they have Crypt Rats, they can wipe for 2 mana. 2 black mana. They're going to Candy Grapple my Familiar again and mill me and themselves. So we get a Flicker in the graveyard. I think I probably just play out the Archaeomancer to get back the second Flicker then. Keep that out of the graveyard. And then I can Chancery back the Mortuary Mire. They cycle a Suffocating Fumes. There's another Candy Trail. We might just win by beatdown here anyway. Got a lot of cards on them. They only have 2 cards in hand, but they have 1, 2, 3 cards that they can draw. Going to Archaeomancer. Get back to Flicker. Play Chancery. I'll pick up the Mortuary Mire. Pass the turn. We're going to attack for 6 and discard the plains. 6 in the air. Oh, I forgot about... Kind of annoying because the Mortuary Mire, they can just mill my creature. I guess I'm going to put down the Modern Age. 3 cards in hand for our opponent. We're tapping a lot of mana and playing a Fangor Marauder, which is annoying but not the worst. They have 2 mana available. I can play the Mortuary Mire to get back the Familiar. Go to attacks. Then if they bell, I can just Flicker to get back to try to draw 2, and then they won't be able to mill me. I mean, I'll be able to draw the Familiar. I have 2 cards in hand. They go for each player mills a card. We're going to Flicker, and then we draw our Familiar and a Faithful. Okay. Now I can discard Modern Age and Plains. I think I'm going to just let this Fangor Marauder hit me this turn. Deadly Dispute for our opponent. Getting rid of a plant, I think. Maybe not. For 3 mana, the Reckoner's Bargain here. So this upcoming turn we have infinite life with Faithful, Familiar, Pirates, etc. I'm not going to block. If they have a Rats right now, they can just wipe the entire board. Okay, that's the combo. Play Familiar. Play another Familiar. We'll go ahead and play Prosperous Pirates. They have no response. but they get infinite life from this. So attacking doesn't matter. We're going to flicker here. All right, they scooped to the infinite. That was very kind. Thank you. So we have to worry about Crypt Rats. Prismatic Strands can actually be pretty decent against Crypt Rats. They're probably going to have... So we want the Disenchant. I think a Faithful can get cut, maybe even 2. And then we want the Counterspell. So if we bring these in, then we're protected against Crypt Rats here and here. It's for our combo turns. We just Strands on black and then go off. It should be fine. I'll submit. All right, seems like a fine opener. We have Modern Age into Deep Analysis, draw 2. Just a little bit worried about Jukabog. That's the turn. There's the Ghoul Caller's Bell. So if they mill the Mortuary Mire, we're going to be having some tough times. We have to just try to draw it before they, they mill it. Find a familiar. Play the Modern Age. Discard the Deep Analysis. Next turn we can get a Plains with the Terramorphic and then draw 2. We mill a Muldrifter. They play an Ichor Wellspring, draw a card. Colony Garden, so they don't have a response this turn. We can draw and discard. Okay, so now we can discard the Terramorphic Expanse. Play the Plains. We have 6 cards in hand. So we can go Familiar, draw 2. Now they could have a removal spell for the Familiar, but we got a lot of value out of this, and now we have Familiar plus Counterspell. Pirates in the Graveyard. So we're going to want to try to hold up the Counterspell now, I guess. They kill my Familiar, mill a Snap, and bog me. So 1 Pirates is down. We know they're playing these bounce lands. I just don't know how many bounce lands. I should probably check their deck. So in the sideboard, they've got Nature's Claim, 4 Spell Bombs, 1 Duress. Yikes. Okay, now we get a 2/3 flyer. I'm going to play my Familiar and pass the turn. Okay, Candy Trail for our opponent. We're going to yield to that for sure. They got a lot of Candy Trails. They strike double top, which is definitely scary. 2 mana, they draw a card, so they're probably going to try to play a removal spell right now. They don't. Draw. We have a negate now. I'm going to Modern Age and discard the Deep Analysis. Maybe I should have just cast the Deep Analysis. That probably would have been better. We'll draw 2. I'm looking for more lands. Okay, we found Bounce Land. If we play Bounce Land, pick up the... We're just going to play the Evolving Wilds, grabbing an island. And attack. Okay, I had to tell them how to look at the decks. Your turn. I think I'm just focused on keeping the Familiar alive right now. I can't use Counterspell. The Mill of Faithful. Reckoner's Bargain's fine. So they have 1 Nile Spellbomb in the graveyard. They only have 3 Spellbombs left in their deck. They play a Candy Trail. They have 2 black mana available. Plays another Ghoul Caller's Bell. This doesn't actually affect me, I don't think, that much. Unless they hit something bad, but I think I can win by Counterspell Lock. Draw and discard. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can play the Muldrifter right now. Can't hold up Counterspell that way. I'm pretty nervous about specifically a Crypt Rats. I'm going to play the Muldrifter. I still have Negate. Okay. So I'll play the island and attack. I think this turn I'm going to discard the island, but and keep the Chancery. Then I can play Sunscape Familiar and play the Bounce Land. But it's possible that the Bounce Land should be just discarded here. They Deadly Dispute. Draw 2 cards. Disputing a Candy Trail. Okay. Mill Preordain. And we're going to mill Mortuary Mire. Okay, that's pretty bad. They deadly dispute their treasure token and draw 2. We're going to discard this island. They're playing a Shriekhorn, which mills us as well. We're just biding our time. Mill Evolving Wilds in a land. That's good for me. There's a Candy Trail. No problem. Okay, they bog away the Mortuary Mire, so I really only lose a Preordain here. Okay. They're just going to pass it back. Passes it back. All right. Now we can play another familiar. Play the bounce land. Pick up the land. And then I can just go ahead and Modern Age and discard my land. I find a Preordain. I'm going to swing, and then next turn I'll Preordain looking for Flicker and looking for Pirates. If they actually just do each player mills a card a bunch, then we can just kill them with Flicker on Deep Analysis, because they'll be at the point where that will be fine. They mill us 1, another 1. Okay. They gain and draw off the Candy Trail. Deadly Dispute. They have 7 cards in hand. You can see that we're similarly at card parity with 27 and 24. They've drawn a lot of cards off their Deadly Disputes and stuff. They're milling me a little bit extra with the Shriekhorn. They're probably just looking for now spell bombs and whatnot. I'm holding on to my counterspell for this Crypt Rats. Bam. Crypt Rats, no. No, thank you. Mill card, mill Evolving Wilds. Mill card, mill Strands, that's good for me. They have another Rats in hand. We can still win. The Urborg Repossession, so return creature card and another card. So they get back Crypt Rats and Nile Spellbomb. Okay, so I think I have to counter the Spellbomb. Then I play Archaeomancer for counterspell, play Archaeomancer for negate. Counter. They play a land, they have 2 mana available. We're going to draw and discard. I think I'm going to discard the Deep Analysis here. Archaeomancer. Counterspell. I'm going to Preordain. Looking for, okay, we found the Flicker. Autumn, top the Flicker. Guess I just attack. Focus on counterspell the Crypt Rats and then see what happens. Your turn. Mill a Flicker and a Snap. Okay. We have 1 Flicker in hand. We have lost 1 Deep Analysis, 2 Deep Analysis, so all we have to mill them out is this Deep Analysis and then 1 Compulsive. Counterspell. The Witch's Cottage back the Rats. So can they draw it this turn? Candy Trail. And then they can draw off the Candy Trail and then play the Rats. But then I can go Archaeomancer for Snap, snap it. Flicker for Counterspell, Flicker for Negate. Okay, they can draw. I think they're just maybe locked out here. They're passing the turn without playing the Rats. Mill a card. We mill an island. They mill Candy Grapple. Okay, play Archaeomancer. Get back, negate. Then I'm going to attack. Then I can Flicker to get back Counterspell. Flicker, get back Counterspell. That's the turn. Right now we have 10 power on the table. They mill the Modern Age and Archaeomancer. So these Archaeomancers have to live. Another Flicker. They have Reckoner's Bargain. Okay. We could also, instead of counterspelling the Rats, we could Prismatic Strands on black and then Flicker and snap the Rats. 1, 2, 3, counterspell. We're going for counterspell. All I have is a Fangren Marauder, that's good. Draw. Flicker. Gotta get back to Counterspell. Then I can play my Chancery. I suppose I should, well, let's see, mill a card. There's the Pirates, okay. Mill a card. Play the Chancery. Pick up this. We're going to attack. There's the Compulsive Research. So let's Flicker here and get back the Snap and the Flicker. Flicker. Get back Ghostly Flicker, Compulsive. Go ahead and snap this. Untap. Your turn. I'll discard Faithful. They can mill me 2 right now. I can also play out their Fangor Marauder. Cost them 6 mana. Now we're at 8 cards in the library. The Reckoner's Bargain their Bell. Actually, we might get another 6 life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will let that resolve. We have a lot of power on the table still. Let's go for Flicker into Snap. They have to have 2 pieces of interaction right now. We mill a negate off the Ghoul Caller's Bell. We're at 7 cards in the library. They Candy Grapple. I'm gonna negate. I think I grab the negate, then Flicker here, and then I'm gonna grab Flicker and negate. Draw for turn. Play Island. Let's Flicker. Let's attack with everything. Then I can Flicker my Arcanemancer that's being blocked. And take 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 damage. I'll take the 10. Flicker here. Get back Flicker. Get back Snap. And snap this. And then I'm going to pass the turn and discard my Familiar. And then try to interact with them on their turn. Okay, they scooped it up. I mean, this was kind of like still a tough match because there was all this removal spells. They got rid of my combo conditions, but overall, like we were prepared enough, and we had so much card advantage we were able to push through. All right, good games, Cornado. We'll see everybody else in round 2. All right, we're in round 2 versus Cortez Monaro on the draw, and our opponent's playing Mono Black Burn. They only have 4 creatures. We have 1 negate. It's kind of a medium hand. We can play land, snap your thing, negate, or snap your thing, deep analysis, but we're really looking for a Familiar or a Faithful. I'm nervous to mulligan though. I think I'm going to keep it against better judgment. Really need a Faithful. Hopeless Nightmare. Each player discards a card. Okay, I'll discard. I'm going to discard the Plains then. Or each opponent discards a card. Okay. Next turn, if I have to discard again, I'll just discard the Deep Analysis. Let's go Island, pass. At this point, I would discard the Evolving Wilds. They play a Prickly Bogart. So turn 3, we're looking for Snap into Deep Analysis, it looks like. Just going to play the Chancery. We have double Snap. So we made up the discard from using the Chancery, because that's a 2-for-1 right there. We look at their list. They're playing the Vampire, which gets +2/+1 if you have 10 life or less. 3 mana. The Vampires Kiss us, and they're going to discard a land to draw a card, put us to 15, and then my turn I'm going to snap it and play Deep Analysis. Looks like we can just do the same thing on the next turn too, but we really need to find the Faithful. Sunscape Familiar, solid. Dude, how much removal do they have? Bump. They have Guest Verdict as a removal spell. Soul Reap as well. We can go familiar, snap, arcane answer, get back snap, then hold up the negate, put us to 12. Familiar, go ahead and snap this thing. The arcane answer, getting back the snap. That's the turn. All right, so we're at 47 cards. Statistically, 1 in every 15 cards would be a faithful. We'll find out if we can find it. And a lot of this is losing life. So we're not really protected by having anything but our faithfuls because we don't have any life gain in the sideboard. With counterspell and a negate to bring in over maybe even the strands, you're going to pay 3 mana. Let's see if they play a Geth's Verdict here because we could negate that. Prickly Bogart hits Fear. You play the Vampire. Okay, that's it for them, it looks like. Come on, Faithful. Trying to flicker. All right, we'll start with Deep Analysis. Compulsive Research. Let's snap your Vampire. Untap, untap. I'm going to Compulsive myself. Discard a land card. This one. Play an island. Play the Modern Age. You can discard another land card. And then that's the turn. Now we are at the point where we have infinite life if we find a faithful, so we're still just digging, digging, digging. Still trying to hold up my negate. Play the Vampire. They're going to put us to 11. 3 mana. They're going to guess Verdict, so I will counterspell that. I do not want to go to 10. The attack. Yep. Cards. So we get to draw and discard. Discard this Evolving Wilds. Let's preordain. In bottom, I suppose we could top the Chancery, but we're still just trying to dig. So bottom again. There's the Faithful. Play the Faithful. Make infinite life. Let's go ahead and snap this. Untap, untap. Play the Prosperous Pirates. And then demonstrate. Liquor. All right. They scooped to the combo. Thanks. Yep, that is what I was talking about, where you can make infinite life a little bit easier. So Prismatic Strands is medium, but nothing else is any good. The negate is probably worth playing. We could cut a Deep Analysis. Since we already have Compulsive Research, I think I'm just going to get rid of the Prismatic Strands and bring in the negate. Because Prismatic Strands doesn't really stop any life loss stuff, and most of their spells are life loss stuff. Although we could also bring in a counterspell, I guess, and just cut the Deep Analysis then. Let's do that. Suppose Disenchant, maybe. Let's look at their sideboard. Diabolic Edict, Nile Spellbomb, Curse, Crypt Rats. So we do want the Disenchant. Get rid of this. Submit. Curse is a problem. Cannot deal with that. Check out the tournament again. 4 Spellbomb. Crypt Rats 2. Oh god. This is going to be tough. Let's get rid of... Let's just go negate, negate, counterspell. Once again, we don't have a Faithful. It's a very slow hand. They're keeping 7. I'm going to keep... We're looking at turn 1, crack for Plains. If we find a Faithful, we play it. They're going to duress. No. Plays the Brogart. Prickly Brogart. Alright. Grab a Plains. This little Bogart guy could definitely deal me some major damage. There's a dang Vampire. We take 1. Alright, this was a terrible keep. Let's grab an island. Pass the turn. I don't like that I'm going to take 2 damage here. So I think we just needed to keep a faster hand. I definitely should have mulliganed. We're going to have to snap this and then evoke the Drifter, hope for the best. Taking 2 is bad. The next turn after that, we can... Pixel Theft is bad. Put us to 13. If we find a familiar or a faithful, we can like play the faithful, snap the fear guy. Snap this. Land. Evoke the drifter. I think we're dead. I mean, I made a mistake in my keep for sure. We have a snap again. So that's okay. We're gonna go to 12, 11. They play the thing again. We snap it. Play the Arcane Answer, get back snap. Here's the Vampire once more. Hopeless Nightmare, discard a land. We go to 10. Now this thing's a 3/2 and can end, what is it? Has Intimidate? I don't know what that means. Basically fear. What does Intimidate mean? Artifact creatures or black creatures. And just let's snap this thing again. Land. Game Answer for snap. So they have to use their Spellbomb right now. They decide not to. They were F6'd, I guess. Maybe that was a mistake. When it says, stop snapping everything, bro. Their Vampire comes back onto the table. Kill my Archaeomancer forever. So maybe that's why they left the Spellbomb. We're at 5. The only way to live here is to preordain into a Faithful, play the Faithful, snap this thing. Preordain, try to find a Faithful. Bottom. Again, play the Chancery. Look at this. Snap that. Then Compulsive Research. Trying to find a Faithful still. Okay, next game. It just didn't do anything for too long. I wonder if Prismatic Strands is fine. Just don't play the Disenchant. The Strands. I'm just going to not worry about anything. Bring the Strands in for their creatures. That's something I can pitch to the Modern Age. We have triple Flicker. We can play around a single Nile Spellbomb. We would like to play first. Okay. I can play turn 2 Familiar. Find out if that works. Okay, this is definitely want to play the turn 2 Familiar because I can block the Vampire. Get Plains. Land, Familiar. So we need them to not be able to remove the Familiar here. We can block. And then we play the Deep Analysis to draw 2. They have the Verdict. An Edict or whatever. Okay. We go to 19. Play Modern Age. I'm going to discard the Plains. Pass the turn. Trying to get creatures onto the table. Right now we're at 19. They play a Trespasser's Curse, which is I completely forgot about. Oh my god, that's going to make that really hard. Draw. Discard an island. Let's preordain. Find a snap. Can top and top. Play the Chancery. Pick up this. We can snap their creature. And then Deep Analysis to draw 2. We have the Mortuary Mire, so we can get back the Familiar. It's going to be really tough playing around the curse if we don't draw a darn Faithful. Part of the reason that Blackburn is good in a metagame is that everyone's playing Hydroblast, and Hydroblast does not do anything here at all. We got a 21. We have one creature, and Mortuary Mire. Play Modern Age, I'm going to discard an island. Play Familiar. They're edicting my Vector Glider. Oh, this is really bad. I need the curse. Curses. They probably are going to have some sort of edict again. I'm going to tap and untap some mana. So this is going to put us at 10 or 12. Okay. I'm going to discard the island. We're hosed. We're hosed! Sucks. We could not find a Faithful to save my life. Familiar. Muldrifter. So you can play Familiar and then Compulsive Research. Play Muldrifter. Of course, we go to 5. There's the Faithful that I needed. This is going to put us to 2, and then we just die to something else. Oh, it's so dumb. Ooh, style points. Lol. Alright. We got wrecked because we couldn't find Faithfuls in any of the matches, which was just really bad. So hopefully we can get through the rest. I'll see you in round 3. Okay, round 3, we're 1-1. Gotta update that. And we would like to play first. Okay, we have Faithfuls this time. I'll keep. We'll see what's up. Play Island, turn to Chancery, then go Faithful whatever. Island, pass the turn. And our opponent is on... Oh god, burn. Well, at least I kept 2 Faithfuls. They Chain Lightning me. We're looking for Modern Age, we find it. Perfect. Pick this up. So next turn we're going to go Modern Age, discard Deep Analysis, or discard Island. Could even discard the Flicker. Probably just Modern Age, discard Flicker. Next turn we go... Right. They play the Synthesizer. Finds an Implement of Combustion. They go land, Implement of Combustion. Okay. And we play land. Faithful, play the Modern Age. We get to discard 1 land. I'll discard the land here. Pass the turn. Usually I like to discard a land if I have 1 or 2 land drops lined up. I have my next land drop lined up. And next turn I can go Faithful into Deep Analysis. They Ren's Resolve, finding Goblin Grenade and Ren's Resolve. So I can't cast either of those right now. Right, and they're playing 4 Bushwhacker, 4 Epicure. So their only goblins are Epicures and Kuldothas. They're going to cast Kuldotha Rebirth. I got to turn on my No Possible Bloody Yield All. So they're going to be able to grenade, and it's to any target. Okay. We'll discard the Flicker. Go Faithful. Snap. Untap, untap. Play the Island. Now, I think I'm going to pass the turn. Leave up protection, basically, with the negate. And then the next turn I can Arcane Answer back the Flicker or cast Deep Analysis. They're going to Goblin Grenade face, which is fine. And then I want to negate the Ren's Resolve. Counter that. Pass the turn. And then I can block whatever. And then I can also Deep Analysis if I don't find a land. We're burying them at the moment. Okay, they have a land, but nothing else going on. So, Deep Analysis. And discarding the land there looks like it was the wrong decision. So this turn, we're going to play Familiar into Negate. Familiar into Deep Analysis. Our opponent plays Synthesizer, revealing Epicure. And they make a token. We Galblast. And Galblast, that's scary. They only have 1 card in hand. Bolt. So they get to get in for 1. Okay. I think I probably just played the Arcane Mancer for the negate, or Arcane Mancer for Flicker. Play the Arcane Mancer. I'm going to grab the Snap. They're likely to use the Synthesizer to draw a card and make a token. Then I can go Familiar, Snap, Muldrifter. Makes a token. And they find a Synthesizer. Play the Synthesizer and find a Mountain. They can play the Mountain. They have 1 card in hand. They can use the Blood token. They have Lightning Bolt. Okay. Gets in for 2. We don't really want to use the Deep Analysis at the moment. So let's get Familiar. We snap this. Untap, untap. Play land. Jam our Muldrifter onto the table. Draw 2. Another Familiar. I think I'm going to Deep Analysis here. Puts me to 12, but I have both of these 2 covered for blocks. I want to try to find either the Mortuary Mire or more negates or just whatever. Put up some blocks. They have 1 card in hand. The Synthesizer revealing a Wellspring. Interesting. Okay, draws a card. There are 2 cards in hand. Are they going to bolt my Familiar? They bolt the Familiar. So we can block the Epicure. They decide not to attack though. Okay, Familiar. Let's snap the Samurai. Tap. I'm gonna draw 3. We'll discard a land. Evolving Wilds. Get to go ahead and play the Faithful. Play Chancery. Pick up my planes now. And I can use my blue mana to snap the token. Gaining life. Untap. So we can, let's leave on Deep Analysis. Draw a bunch of cards. Deep Analysis again. And then now I have Strands, so I can just go ahead and Modern Age. Discard the Strands and pass the turn. I could probably just attack. I'll attack. I think we win. Nice. So we want the Strands, we want the Hydros. And we can trim on the Pirates. Don't really need to combo them. Trim on a Deep Analysis. And I think I'll just get rid of the negates. Let's look at their sideboard here. They've got Pyroblast and the Festivities, Flaring Pain, which is important to know about, Raise, which is scary, and Relic. Relic is medium. But if they have Raise in their deck, then it's possible that we want to bring in... They have Pyroblast and Raise. I think I want to bring in the negate. Cut the Archaeomancer. Can also cut one familiar for another negate. It's a little bit sketchy. Probably just cut a flicker for a second negate and submit. We're simply looking to put stuff on the table and eventually attack. Okay, we have the turn 1 Hydro. No white mana. We have a flicker. Snap. They're keeping 7. They're not... Okay, there's no supposed to be in the format, right? Yep. So... I think it's fine to keep this. I'm like, oh, turn 1 Hydro for their Swiftspear. They're like, oh, I don't have a Swiftspear. Okay. I'm going to go land go. And then I'll try to Hydroblast to Kuldotha or a Ren's Resolve. Could also Hydroblast a Raise or a Synthesizer. Keeping them off of cards, basically. They're going to get in for 1. They did not Kuldotha. Find Modern Age and a Preordain, so I'm going to top both. Play Island, Preordain. I'm a little bit nervous about the Raises. Still going to top both. Pass the turn. They Volt me to 15. Synthesizer for our opponent, revealing a Pyroblast. So they can just shoot off the Pyroblast if they want to, because it doesn't have to target any. I mean, it can just target my land. Looks like they're going to raise here, actually. Kuldotha. Okay, so what I'm going to do is snap a token and then evoke the Drifter, or I can snap a token and then Modern Age discarding the Plains. We have 1 card in hand. Chancery, pick up this, snap a token, play the Modern Age. Come on, click, click. Okay, Modern Age, we're going to float a white in case I draw a Faithful. I did not. Let's discard this Flicker. Pass the turn. It's a lot of pressure from the opponent right now. They only have 2 cards in hand now. Pyroblast is gone forever. They raise my land. Yeah, I should have just not played into it. They only had 2 raises in their deck, and of course they have it. It's frustrating. Okay. We're going to discard Mancer. Play with the Island. Pass the turn. If they didn't have the raise there, we would have beaten them for sure, but now we're at the point where they're going to get in for 4, putting us to 5. Okay. I'm going to have a blocker. I can counter Bushwhacker. They discard a mountain. Now we have a blocker. Block can go to 2. I think I'm going to Mortuary Mire to get back the Archaeomancer. Goblin Grenade is not an instant. Going to Hydroblast this. Let's block. Kind of have to hope they have nothing, I guess. Blast that, pass the turn. So we go to 3. Bolt kills me. Sad. I knew that we were weak to raise with the Chancery, and I kept it anyway, so that was a mistake on my part. We're on the play. Mulligan. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. Keep, put back the snap. Plane, or pass a turn. I'm gonna grab my planes and then go Faithful. Okay, they have a Relic. I'm always happy when they play Relic because it doesn't affect me that much. Play a Faithful. Play the Evolving Wilds. I'll grab an island. So next turn I can play Sunscape Familiar with Negate up, and then I can start cantripping on the next turn after that. So they play a Synthesizer revealing Epicure, play a land. Now they have Galblast online. Dang, that really sucks. Okay, here's a Familiar. Pass the turn. Opponent goes for Chain Lightning, I'm going to negate. Try to keep my Familiar alive. Whatever. So they're going to Pyro. They used 2 cards to kill for my Familiar. So we're going to get rid of the Evolving Wilds. The Terramorphic, crack it, Island, Preordain, Compulsive and a Hydro. Let's top both and pass the turn. I could Hydroblast the Synthesizer, but I think I want to stop them from casting card draw or threats. Like right now we're still at 20. Counter the Kuldotha, pass the turn. And they reveal a mountain. So we're going to have 2 lands now. Reckless into double Reckless. Okay. We're going to Compulsive. May Relic randomly at this point. I'll discard land. Pass the turn. So this turn I can play the Familiar. They Reckless into a mountain. So you play another Reckless Impulse. This Epicure, they find a Bushwhacker. Sunscape Familiar. They're going to get rid of another land. You have a Hydroblast. I think I'm going to flicker the Familiar in response to the Bolt. The Epicure. Okay. Lightning Bolt, I'll just flicker it. So if they respond here, they lose their Bushwhacker. Stinks for us. They have 4 cards in hand. We really need to draw a Mole Drifter or Deep Analysis. We're going to let that go. Okay. They cracked the Relic to get rid of my Flicker. I have another one in the deck. I'm pretty used to just playing with 1 Flicker. Plays another Relic. Okay, you lose your Bushwhacker. Come on, card draw. Okay, we'll play the Modern Age. Discard a land. I'll pass the turn and hold the Terramorphic in hand. Playing a Wellspring, so they can use their Kuldothas. Let's counter. Just keeping my blocker alive, basically. They can eat this with a Relic. Okay, can't attack. Come on, Mole Drifter. Okay, I will discard the Terramorphic and pass the turn. We have yet another Hydroblast. They're cracking their Implement of Combustion to draw a card. Puts me to 18. Another Wellspring. They're going to discard a card. So are they playing like Improvised Club? Chain Lightning. They have a bunch of Wellsprings, but only Kuldothas to sacrifice them. Okay. I'm just going to put my Mire on the table. Get rid of this Terramorphic. So they have Flaring Pain for Strands. Oh well. Right now we're just sitting around waiting to draw a card draw. We'll attempt to counter. They're going to kill my Familiar, so I'll snap it. Getting them to use their cards is good. That's the turn. Reckless gets countered, I guess. Snap it, goes away. No attacks. We find another snap. Play the familiar. Question is, I could attack here. Might as well. Sending a message, I guess. They're going to crack the relic to draw a card. This could be a big turn for them if that's the case. Galvanic the Fam again. Snap the Fam again. That's why I shouldn't have attacked, because now they're going to get in for free 1 damage. If they have Bushwhacker Kuldotha, it's a really big problem. Our opponent used the Brazilian laugh, which is K, but it gets censored. So they Ren's Resolve, I'm going to negate in response. Gives up. He raises my planes. Preordain. Bottom both of these. I need action. Preordain. Looking for lands. I'm looking for card draw. I guess I just take the Modern Age and just play it. Put the top card of my... Oh, Deep Analysis. That was a good top deck. They play a land. They said I'm a top decking god. I appreciate that. Find a Chancery. Probably going to get raised. So it's a little sketchy as whether or not we want to keep it. He already has played 1 raise. I'm going to draw. Kind of need my white sources. Bottom, top this other one. Play the Chancery. I'm going to pick up the island, pass the turn. I can Arcane-Mancer for negate, and then at that point I think I win. I saw that coming. Okay. Modern Age. Now we Arcane-Mancer to get back the negate. That's the turn. We're going to attack. Yeah. Implement is fine, right? They're going to draw a card. I think it's better to just let that go. We go to 13. Can't really afford to play the Deep Analysis from the graveyard because they'll be at 10. Then they could just win from hand. Let's attempt to Modern Age and then discard the Evolving Wilds. Oh, they got rid of the strand. I'll discard the Prismatic Strands here. Chancery. Pick up the island and swing. Because they relicked away their own Flaring Pain. I think now I'm going to Deep Analysis. Find a Faithful and a Drifter. Okay. Feel pretty confident at this point. Opponent says GG's. They also said they gave up 5 minutes ago. All right, we win. We got lucky. 2-1. On the next. We're here in round 4 versus Floyza, who is playing mono blue Terror. And we have land, preordain, Modern Age pitch, Deep Analysis, or Strands. I think I'm going to keep this. Our only issue is going to be if they have an early Spell Pierce. If we look at their deck, they've got only 2 Spell Pierce. They're playing Rush of Knowledge. It's kind of neat. Oh, I'm on the play. Okay, good times. Okay, bottom and bottom. That's not great. Uh-oh. Land Preordain has failed me. Oh no. Island Delver. We're looking for an island? Oh geez. Okay, fair enough. Delver does not flip. Gets in for 1. Pass the turn and discard. Discarding the Strands. And they end step to Frantic, finding a counterspell. Certainly bad. They cast a Consider. If we find a land, okay, now I was going to say we could snap and play the Modern Age, but that's not going to be the case now. Land. I'm going to try to get my Modern Age onto the table. I'd rather have the Faithful resolve than the Modern Age at this point. So counterspell on the Modern Age is fine. Right now they can cast a Spire Golem for 3. They cast a Frantic Inventory to draw 2 cards. Spire Golem costs 2 now. I'm getting beat up by this Insectile Aberration. We're going to try to play another Modern Age. That resolves. We can discard Deep Analysis, play the Mortuary Mire, and pass the turn. So the next turn we can play Faithful. We have Negate. Another frantic? You're making me frantic, dude. You're making me frantic. That's crazy. Okay. Spire Golem's at the wazoo. Gets in. We go to 10. We got 8 terrors. They have a terror. Yikes. Okay, draw and discard. I guess I discard and negate. Play the island. I'm gonna go Faithful. Snap. So if this all resolves, then I'm good, but if it doesn't resolve, I'm in a big problem. I have the Spell Pierce. Okay. I think we're just dead. Sucks. So my one lander having to just whiff on lands for a long time killed me for sure. We need the Circle of Protection, potentially the Prismatic Strands. So Prismatic Strands might not be that good because they have the flyers. Compulsive Research is a little sketchy. Snap does a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of the strands for the COPs. And then I'm gonna get rid of one flicker and just try to lean into the card draw. Submit. That was such a beating. Now we have to fight back. Mulligan. Okay. So we can just put back an island. Now our opponent mulligans to 5. It's brutal that they had the second Spell Pierce there. What's in their sideboard? Looks like Annul, Bind the Monster. Not that much for us. Annul, I guess. So I'm just fetching now for laziness. Land Delver? No, just land go? Okay. Ooh, we have the Circle of Protection. That is a really big deal for us. End step Consider. So we only have to play around Spell Pierce for the COP. They know we have it though. Play Modern Age. Okay, I'll discard the Flicker. Play land. Pass the turn. 3 islands. Okay, we draw. Discard a pirate. Play a land. Play Sunscape Familiar. So if we play Circle of Protection, they have to counterspell, and then I can play my Familiar and then play the pirates next turn. If I play the Circle, if they counterspell this, they also allows them to Spell Pierce too. So I'm going to play the Circle of Protection. Counterspell. Play my Familiar. Pass the turn. So now if we draw into Arcanomancer, we can get back the Flicker and make infinite life. Our opponent's on Brainstorm. That's 4 in the graveyard, so Terror costs 2. Delver. Okay, so this is infinite life. Boop, boop, boop. Snap. They're disincentivized to Spell Pierce it. But I guess they could. Do they have a Dispel? I see 4 Spike, 2 Dispels on the sideboard. Okay, that's gonna resolve. Tap, untap. Cast Prosperous Pirates. Make mana. Doot doot. Play Arcanomancer. So we're playing around 4 Spike, but we can't actually make infinite mana this turn. Grab the Flicker, pass the turn. Now we just wait for a moment where we have the capacity to make infinite life. Just go to like 100 or whatever, and then that'll give us enough time. So can't do anything here. We can attack for a lot. 6. The Mole Drifter. Attack you for 6. We've already played 1 counterspell. So I could go for Evoke on the Mole Drifter, and then they counterspell it, then I can make infinite life. If they don't, it's a Divination for 2 mana. If we find a snap, we can snap the Mole Drifter. Nice. Let's snap the Mole Drifter. If they have Spell Pierce, I'll pay. Doesn't seem like they have Spell Pierce. Okay, so I'm just going to play another Mole Drifter then, and make them use a counterspell. You have it? They don't have it. That's really good for us. You know, we're still playing around Spell Pierce and stuff. Pass the turn. Frantic Inventory. We allowed them to have this because we didn't have an untapped land. They flip on a Dispel. Right now we're at 27 life though. Play a Terror. And so we can resolve a Muldrifter. Here comes a Muldrifter. Maybe I should have compulsived first. Let's preordain. All right, we find familiar. So I can top, play the plains, and go ahead and attack with my Muldrifter. They're going to take it. Now, if they tap out here, then we can make infinite life again, like I said. Next turn, familiar, threaten infinite life. They get in for 5, no blocks. I think we are going to win this one, but they did mulligan a lot. They have 2 mana, so they could have counterspell and they have Dispel, so they can't counterspell and Dispel, is what I'm saying. Familiar. Let's compulsive research. Okay. Discard a land. Play a land. Let's Faithful. Snap a Muldrifter. They are between a rock and a hard place now, because if they let the Muldrifter snap resolve, they get to draw 3 cards, or draw some cards, and if they Dispel it or counterspell it, then we make infinite mana. And here comes a Muldrifter. So I'm looking for a negate. Okay, Modern Age. Draw. And discard, I guess, the Chancery here. I'll pass the turn. We're very ahead. It's like, okay, you have 10 power coming in, but that doesn't matter. There's a Spire Golem, so they have blocks now. Okay, draw. Mortuary Mire. Discard a card. We're going to discard. So we have, what, Snap? Discard the Deep Analysis. Play this. Go ahead and play Archaeomancer. You can get back the Snap. Draw 2 cards. Another Familiar. Doesn't really do anything. I guess I could put the Familiar in the way of the Terror. Right? Unfortunately, trying to play around all this is a problem, because I know they have Dispel in hand. So I have to play around Dispel. It's Counterspell. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is put a Muldrifter in front of the Terror. And then I'm going to Mortuary Mire back the Muldrifter. That's pretty good. Mortuary Mire. Grab the Drifter. And then I'll play a Muldrifter. Draw 2. One of them being a Muldrifter. Counterspell. So let's snap this Muldrifter. Cast a Muldrifter. They've used 2 counterspells so far. That one resolves. Play another Muldrifter. Whee! We're doing it. Okay, I'll play Faithful. Let's go Archaeomancer. Then I'm going to get the Compulsive Research. Pass the turn. I don't need to chump with a Muldrifter to get into the graveyard because I've got this Mortuary Mire. I mean, I already have a Muldrifter in the graveyard, that's what I was trying to say. We're just not tapping out. Okay, we have a negate now. Pick up the Mire. I'm gonna Compulsive. Draw 3, discard a Terramorphic. Land. Now I have another Familiar. Muldrifter costs 1. I'm spinning my wheels really badly, but I think it's fine. We've accomplished not doing anything. Okay, continue passing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to block with my Archaeomancer and get it killed, and then I'm going to try to get my Flicker stuff up and going. There's a Spire Golem, so I think I win. Guess I could have just done it on their turn. Mortuary Mire, get back Archaeomancer. Yes, draw 2. Okay, play Archaeomancer, or no, I don't want to do that. Now I'm going to flicker, if snap, flicker these two to try to get snap. That way I can snap to get back the flicker. If dispel, I have a negate, another dispel, but now they're tapped out. So now I just win. Mancer, we just have to execute at this point. Mancer, get back flicker, flicker for infinite mana. All right, thanks. We're 1-1, and I think that's probably still just the same way we have to do it. On the draw for game 3. I think this is a mulligan. Very slow, nothing's happening. This is much better. Keep, put back. You can put back 1 familiar or 1 chancery. I think I'm going to put back the chancery. So we'll go land, chancery, familiar, familiar. Land, pass. They're going to cast a consider. Pass again. Okay, they're leaving up counterspell or frantic inventory mana. Pass and pick up the island. They thought scour themselves, milling 2 islands. Thought scour again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they can cast a terror for 3 mana, which is a lot of scariness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Terror. 5 cards in hand. They could have up to 3 terrors. Familiar. I forgot about Force Spike. Okay, they didn't have it. So I'll just play land pass. 5 in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rainstorm. Terror. Terror. Okay. Go. Let's keep familiar. Draw 2 cards. Spell Pierce is fine. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Puts us to 10. 2 cards in hand. Plays another terror. Dang. So what's your last card? Prosperous Pirates. That is good. Let's evoke a Drifter. Modern Age. Attempt to snap the Drifter. Because if they have a Dispel or a Spell Pierce, we can flicker here. Flicker. So we can draw 2. Nothing good happened though. We have a land. Now I'm at 10. He said GG's. I don't think they understand. Modern Age. Discard this. Land. Pick up this. That's preordained. Faithful, yes. So now I have to decide what I want to count. I'm going to sack the familiar and the Mole Drifter. Oh, I could have should have double blocked there. I messed up really bad. That's really bad. Draw. Discard this. Go Faithful. Impulsive. Discard this. Play land. So bad. Deep Analysis. Right now we can block for 3. We have to find exactly. There's a Faithful. There's a Faithful. The Modern Age. Puts me to 6. Draw and discard. Okay, pass a turn. So I'm going to go block and block. Go to 1. Draw. Looking for that circle of protection. Discard this. We have 3 blockers again. Go ahead and cast a Mole Drifter. Looks like they have Counterspell right now. We have a negate. There's the COP. So now I can snap the Mole Drifter. Wow. Okay, untap, untap. Circle of Protection. Then I can only protect against 2 things right now. So I'm just going to Modern Age and put the top card of my library into my graveyard. Discard the snap. I know they have Echoing Truth. That was crazy. They're attacking. Okay, block. Now we're gonna Circle of Protection, and then we get to choose this terror. And Circle of Protection again, and choose this terror. Next turn we just have to hold open 3 mana. That worked out exactly as I was hoping. Pretty wild. And now we have Drifter Snap Drifter, which is awesome. Okay. Evoke. Gains life and draws cards. Especially with their only things being the terrors. Snap this one. Okay. Untap, untap. Let's go ahead and cast this Mole Drifter. Now we have Archaeomancer. So play Mancer or Flicker. Get back Ghostly Flicker. And then pass the turn. So now we only have to COP 2 of these. We only have 1 card in hand. We have the negate, and we can actually upkeep, get back the Sunscape Familiar to win the game. Okay, perfect. Choose this one. And then I'm going to activate. Choose this one. And then set an upkeep stop. No blocks. I'm going to flicker here. That gets back my flicker and gets back my familiar. What a tight game. Oh my goodness. Draw. I get my 2/3 back. Play a familiar. They only have 1 card in hand, so they can't interrupt me since I have the negate. Play land. Play pirates. In the game. Flicker. Make infinite mana. GG's. See you in the next round. We are in round 5. Win and in versus Ape19, who is on Pinger Burn. So we just have to keep the pingers off the table, basically, and counter. Strands is ridiculously good here. But we don't have, well, excuse me. Do we want to make the same mistake of Island Preordained die? I think we have to mulligan. It's the same hand. I'm going to keep this one, put the pirates on the bottom because I have double Preordain. Turn off my upkeep stop. Land, grab an island. No secrets here. Although this reveals I don't have a turn to Faithful immediately. We beat Burn. So if we look at their list, they've got 4 Forge Chanter, 4 Flame Breather, 4 Epicure, and then Chain Lightning Synthesizer, Dart, Bolt, Reckless Impulse, Searing Blaze, Ren's Resolve. So they're on 8 impulses. Preordain, looking for lands, please. Oh no. Not again. So bad. So if we find our best off the top would be, okay, not terrible. Preordain looking for a Faithful. Okay. So I can go, I think Snap is obviously where we want to be. Question is whether or not we want the compulsive, and I think no, because we have other card draw in hand. The Reckless Impulse put me to 19. Finds Land Impulse, pretty solid. Every bolt is a Galvanic right now, so they put us to 14 on this turn. Okay. Let's snap, untap, just evoke a Drifter. Looking for a Faithful. Did not find it. Pass the turn. So they can go land, Flame Breather, Reckless Impulse. Puts me to 13. Forge Chanter. I think I have to just snap again and then play the Drifter. Looking for a Faithful or Familiar. Still didn't find one, jeez. They play a Forge Chanter, play an Epicure, put me to 12. That's brutal. Play land, Modern Age, discard the land, pass the turn. I mean, certainly played a lot of cards. There's Manic Strands on red. They could bolt right now for 4 damage. They have 1 Flaring Pain, Molten Rain, Strands on red. I need a Faithful. boy. So I can bolt me on my turn with the lightning bolt to put me to 5. I'm gonna evoke this drifter. What even? What? Come on. Okay. Wow. Jeez. All right. Another strands. 4 blasts. Bring in the negate. I think that's fine the way it is. Get rid of this. Familiar flicker. Okay, we are on the play. We want Faithfuls and Hydroblasts. You have to mulligan a 1-lander. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna mulligan again. We're looking for cards that do stuff. Well, this isn't great. I think we put back the 2 drifters, or maybe Drifter Strands, or Hydroblast and Muldrifter. But I need to be able to answer their pingers. So Strands and a Muldrifter. Land pass. They're gonna turn to a pinger and pass the turn. Don't want to just run the Modern Age out until I can use it. Okay, we're gonna counter. Pass the turn. It's just 2 drops deck. Evoke this one. We find a Preordain, which isn't very good. I mean, well, never mind. We find Preordain, which I do like, but the issue is that I don't have any white mana to get my Sunscape Familiar into play. Play Kessig. Let's Preordain. Faithful is good. Preordain again. Looking for a Plains. Bottom. Top the Faithful. Play the Modern Age. Discard a Flicker. Pretty bad. Synthesizer, go to 19. We find a Lightning Bolt. It just bolt us, put us to 15. Now they attack, we're at 14. I think I can discard the Familiar and then cast the Deep Analysis. Okay, I can also cast the Arcane Mancer. Mancer, try to get back Hydroblast. Pyrolet. This feels really bad. I should have played 6 Hydroblast. Nobody's playing Affinity. Sucks. What a way to go. Oh man. All right. That's probably going to be the end of the run. We finished 3-2. Kind of sad. Maybe we'll make it into the top 8, but likely not. Overall, you can tell that Burn really doesn't lose anything just by having all this power. Man, I got really hosed. We got completely... I think that's the most unlucky I've ever been. All right, we'll see you in the next video, most likely, unless there's a surprise ending. Somehow we snuck into 8th place. Barely made it. That's crazy. Lucky for me. Okay, we got unlucky and lucky at the same time. Okay, let's do it. So Nathan is playing Blue-Black Terror, which is one of the worst possible matchups for Familiars, but having early Modern Ages is pretty good, so we're going to go land, Preordain, play the Chancery, and then just hope for the best. It's the Terrors themselves that are problematic, and post-board we have specifically Circle of Protection, just like in the other match. Okay, Preordain. It's kind of weird that Nathan was in 7th and I came in 8th, and they're putting us against each other. I'm going to put Mortuary Mire on top, just in case he Thought Scours me, because I don't want to lose the Mortuary Mire. Okay, I'm going to play Chancery, pass. Okay, we were just discussing that the pairings were weird, but it is what it is. I'm going to go Faithful. I think I still want to play the Modern Age out. Gonna Spell Pierce me. Okay. And then next turn I'm going to evoke the Muldrifter, see if he'll use a counterspell on it, and then I can Mortuary Mire back the Muldrifter. I'm going to Mortuary Mire back anyway, like basically no matter what. Let's evoke. So, I mean, best case scenario is no counterspell, I guess. And then I draw a land. I did draw lands. Let's go ahead and put the Mole Drifter on top. And they could Thought Scar me. They're going to Brainstorm and Thought Scar themselves. Okay. Can't believe we made top 8. That's wild. This Apis deck was just so good. It's made straight to top 8. Now, I didn't look up the list specifically, but I don't think there are Force Spikes, so I'm just going to jam a Mole Drifter. He didn't counterspell the Evoke. Looks like he's going to counterspell now, though. We're at 23. So the important thing to notice is that they're going to deal us damage in chunks of 5. So anytime we can get over a chunk of 5, we're going to be in a better spot. They're going to pick up the Snuff out, most likely. They could snuff the Faithful. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. Declines to snuff the Faithful. So we can go Familiar into Arcanemancer, and then he can snuff out on whichever one. I'm still going to just do this. If he has Counterspell, it's fine. Snuff out on Familiar is okay. We're still getting our mana advantage. I'm just going to pick up the Preordain. Counterspell, okay. That's 2 counters. Pick up this. Now we're at 24. I can get back the Mole Drifter. No, Modern Age. Let me get back to Mole Drifter. Okay, so it's going to play the Angler. Scars himself. Plays an Angler. So this is where we're looking decent because he only has 1 threat at this point, and Faithful can really hold off that 1 threat pretty well. So we're going to snap the Angler, although he has 5 in the graveyard, so I'll just be able to recast it pretty easily. Tap on tap. Play Mortuary Mire, get back Arcanemancer. Oops. Then I'll play the Modern Age. Draw, discard the island. Play the Arcanemancer. Let's get back the Snap. We can protect our creature. I can block and flicker. So I think I'm feeling pretty good. I can also flicker to get back Mole Drifter, but we're going to be drawing it. We're going to be looting with the Modern Age. So if he taps out to play the Angler, I can just snap and then do some shenanigans to try to get my Mole Drifter back. I'm not going to block. I'm at 27. It's going to take me to 22. Still a 4-turn clock. 5-turn clock at the moment. I'm going to tap out to play the Angler. So I'm going to upkeep, flicker, uses the snuff out. Okay. So I think I'm going to snap the Arcanemancer. Well, so we can just get back the Arcanemancer again. And snap the Angler. This guy dies. But we get it right back. Get back Arcanemancer. We're going to draw, then we're going to draw and discard, discarding a land. Arcanemancer, get back Flicker. Pass the turn. Okay, now Scott can still tap out for the Angler again. If he does tap out for Angler, I want to Flicker to get back the Familiar. Play the Familiar, Flicker to get back the Angler, or get back the Mole Drifter. Okay, he's going to tap out. Good flickered, yeah. So we'll just go Flicker, and then get back the Familiar. Draw the Familiar. This turns into a 2/3. Play the Familiar. Then I'm going to Flicker again. Get back the Mole Drifter. And pass. 2 damage a turn is a lot. Okay, it gets in for 10. I'm going to take it this time. It's going to Fangs. That's fine. It changes it to a 2-turn clock. 1 card in hand. So I guess if it's a removal spell, it's a problem. Let's evoke this Drifter. We can play around a Spell Pierce. We can't beat a counterspell. We find a negate. So I'm going to Flicker. And then I have a negate for their spell, but they don't have a spell. We got it. We got there. I can't believe it. Really solid to take game one. We got lucky that they only had 2 threats and one of them was the angler for sure. So I don't really want the strands. I do want the COP blue. But if my whole plan revolves around playing cop blue, I consider taking out the faithful, play more negates, and then just quit on the Prosperous Pirates plan. I could just not play the Prosperous Pirates plan. Maybe also cut a flicker then. Bunch of counters. Counters and life gain. But, okay. I guess I'm just going to try to tempo them into a COP. Hopefully that'll win the game. All right, we have 1 land. I like that I have a faithful, but this is not going to work out. Definitely have to mulligan. We're going to mulligan here. Now we have a bunch of stuff. Guess I'm putting back the faithful. Play Terramorphic for Island. Play Chancery. And we'll go Faithful Modern Age. Or just Faithful. Terramorphic, grab an Island. I specifically chose Terramorphic and Evolving Wilds because Terramorphic also has Old Border Art. Well, we can't play Chancery, so that's why I didn't. I mean, I was also not playing. What's its face? I didn't play the Broker's Hideouts and stuff because I was thinking I wanted to play to beat Affinity. The Chancery. We're going to pick up the Island. I can turn off this upkeep stop as well. The most brutal thing here would be a Boomerang, but I don't think he's playing Boomerang. Just more Spell Pierces and Rotten Reunions. Okay. Let's play Sunscape Familiar. It looks like he's whiffing on having black mana. So next turn, Thoughtscour himself mills an Island and a Thoughtscour. This next turn I'm going to go Faithful. Oh, that's bad. He's going for the Snuff Out right now. Faithful. Play Modern Age. Spell Pierce would be pretty frustrating. They're going for Counterspell. We'll try for a negate. Excuse me. And I'll discard a Familiar and pass the turn. He could also be playing Scared, trying to not get wrecked by the Circle of Protection. That's 10 damage on the table. Draw a discard. I'll discard a Snap. Land. Grab an Island. Go for Preordain. Archaeomancer can get negate, so I'm going to bottom this, top the Archaeomancer, play the Sunscape Familiar. Because if we get the negate, we can maybe snap. We need another Island though. Considering using a Snuff Out or using a Counterspell does not do anything. Okay, they have 4 cards in hand. They're attacking for 10. I'm not going to block. My plan is to probably try to block with the Modern Age here. They Philology. Milling Deep Analysis, Angler, and Annul. So Annul doesn't do anything. Another Terror? Jeez. So they have Annul in hand. I'm going to evoke a Drifter. Oh yeah, Annul for the COP. That makes sense. Never mind. We'll snap. Now he has to think about what to do here. Could kill it with Snuff Out. It's going to go Counterspell. In Deep Analysis, there's a Circle of Protection. Can Deep Analysis again. Found a negate. Okay. The Deep Analysis. So I'm looking to go Circle of Protection. Oh geez. Okay, so block. Block. So they now have a million terrors. We have double circle. COP. Negate. I'm gonna negate your Annul. Now I have to block with at least one familiar. They have a Consider. We're not out of the woods at all. So we have to tap out here to block 2 of the terrors. And I haven't been making land drops, which is really scary. In mental note, milling island, contaminated aquifer. After brainstorming, we use a snuff out. Guess I'll negate. That doesn't really help me. Okay. He has to have one more removal spell, because one more removal spell would kill me here. Okay. Block. And circle this one. Circle this one. We've got a 4. Found a land. So that at least is good. Get an island. I think I would like to wait until next turn to go Faithful Preordain. That could be wrong, but that gives me a little bit of breathing room. Maybe just Preordain right now, looking for lands. Bottom and bottom. This is kind of wonky for sure. Circle. Circle. This one. Angler kills me, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go Faithful. It has to have nothing here. Archaeomancer. I just didn't have enough lands in play. We got 4 terrors. So I can attempt to snap. Oh, he could have Rotten Reunion too right now. That would kill me, I think. Snuff out, okay. Snap this. You have nothing? Okay. This one. Gonna put me to 1. I'm not playing around a Fangs. Go to 1. He had nothing before, so he has 1 draw and 1 blank. Here's the Angler. Game answer. Snap. What's gonna happen? You can also like block and snap, but that seems like that's not gonna work out. Snap again. Okay. See the game. 4 terror is too strong. Maybe I do want the Pirates combo. The counterspell didn't really work out very much. Get rid of this. So Flicker is probably okay. I think I'm just gonna keep the Pirates so that I can potentially have infinite life. Counterspell and negate didn't do that much there. I couldn't really use my mana. Right, we have some stuff. Grab my island. Turn off all my yields or whatever. Turn off this stop and then set no possible play. Turn 2, play Chancery. Okay, we have double familiar. Certainly is a start. When it brainstorms, plays Ice Tunnel. So I'm gonna go land, play the familiar. If he has a snuff out, I'll attempt to snap to force him to use a Spell Pierce. Could also just not snap, but I think it's better to just force action. Not snapping would make it so that, like right now with Spell Pierce, they now have 3 cards in the library in the graveyard, but I don't know if it matters. I keep talking out of my butt. Okay, let's deep analysis for cards. Or Archaeomancer for snap. Counterspells the Archaeomancer. They have 4 cards in the graveyard, so a terror costs 3. Mill a Rotten Reunion and consider. Please no 50 terrors. They had no creature. I'm gonna play. By deep analysis right now, they can just Rotten Reunion it. Archaeomancer. Okay, so let's play. We played the familiar. Attempt to flicker. Okay, so they have a ton of interaction. Hopefully they mill 2 creatures. They mill a Thought Scour, Spell Pierce, and an island. Takes the Spell Pierce. Brutal. Come on, island. Play the Modern Age. Just gonna annul the Modern Age. Okay, I'm looking for an island so I can play the Muldrifter or the Prosperous Pirates. In mental note, a Gurmag away. That's good. That's bad. They have Spell Pierce in hand. Archaeomancer. Try to get the flicker. He's going to use the Rotten Reunion. I should try to get the snap to leave the flicker in the graveyard. That was stupid. That was a mistake for sure. Because now he gets to have the Rotten Reunion. So the zombie token is here. I guess I'm not blocking this turn. Oh god, give me a land. Pirates. It's the turn. So the Pirates is holding off the zombie. Getting in for 1. Or 5. Not 1. It's a lot more than 1. I go to 10. No creature. Play Muldrifter. Draw 2. Let's Mortuary Mire. Get back the Archaeomancer. Okay, that's good. We're going to double block the Terror. Doesn't seem to have anything going on. Block and block. If he uses a removal spell, then that means I can play the Archaeomancer, getting back the snap, and then block and snap. Yeah, the Terror dies. Okay, another Terror. Archaeomancer for snap. Play Evolving Wilds, grab an island. And I will pressure your life total. 2. Okay, now you're at 10. This is 6 mana every turn to block and snap, though, which is not great. Block. Snap. No, you have Spell Pierce, so I can just use these 2 for the Spell Pierce. Double Spell Pierce. 3 cards in hand for our opponent. 2 cards. Play Muldrifter. Okay. Are we racing? Chancery. Pick up the Mortuary Mire. Pass the turn. Gonna attack. Now they're at 8. Next turn I can play the Pirates. Mortuary Mire back the Archaeomancer. And go for the double block. We're getting in for 7. I'm gonna block. I could also block here. Take no damage. Don't think that matters that much. It's about the same. Although if I find a Faithful, it's not the same. They're brainstorming. So this is the second Terror, so there's 2 more Terrors in the deck. Archaeologist, they mill 3 lands. That was really good for them. Really, really, really good. Play Prosperous Pirates. I have a blocker. I guess I'm gonna try Deep Analysis. So I can just attack for 4. We're gonna Modern Age right now. They have an Annul. Well, they have 1 card in hand. I'm going to attempt to win. Pass the turn. I'm going to block. Go to 7. Or go to 8 still. Wow. Can't believe it. All right. We're on to the quarters. Or semis? Semis. We'll see you there. This is the semifinals versus Mono Red Pinger Burn. They're mulling into 6. We can't keep this hand at all. This hand we also cannot keep. We're looking for snaps and chanceries and faithfuls. Right now we have 1 land and no way to get to a second land. Okay, so we have... This is probably keepable. And I think we just put back Terramorphic and Island. We could also put back Pirates Island to go turn 2 familiar, but they also have Searing Blazes, so maybe it's just not that good of a plan. We're on the draw, which is scary. Found the Faithful. I probably should have kept. I mean, the Pirates doesn't do that much, but it also does give me the out to have the infinite life combo that I was looking for. And they can't play a Pinger this turn. They whiff on the Synth and get a Searing Blaze and not a land. Or was that turn 1? That was turn 2. Well, that's good for me. So I think I play the Faithful. Faithful. Grab an island. Pass the turn. They're stuck on 1 land, which is absurdly good for me, given that they're a 2-drop deck. So I'm just not going to block. Not going to block. I could go Evolving Wilds, evoke the Muldrifter. Next turn, hard cast the Prosperous Pirates and just keep the familiar in hand. Okay, they have a Flame Breather now. Okay, let's evoke this Muldrifter. My Faithful is basically an enchantment at this point. Grab an island, pass the turn. So what I'm looking to do is play the Prosperous Pirates probably, and hold up the negate. And then I can, or maybe just play Sunscape Familiar, another Reckless Impulse. Gets in for 2. I'm too scared. I'm too scared to do anything about that. They're bound to actually draw more now. So now I can go Sunscape Familiar. Question is, do I get back the Muldrifter? And I think no. I think I just go Evolving Wilds, grab an island. Here's where the Broker's Hideouts would actually have been good. Let's pass the turn. Now I can feel free to block with the Familiar because if they wanted to bolt, they could have just bolted. They're going to go for the Reckless Impulse. I think I'm not going to counter. There's a Searing Blaze, which they're very incentivized to use right now. And I have the negate. Next turn I have 5, 6 mana, 4. I can play Prosperous Pirates and Muldrifter. They're going for land Searing Blaze, it looks like. We have the negate. Pass the turn. So we get that life back. Now we can block freely. Because they played a land already. We go to 13. They have Lightning Bolt next turn. Play Prosperous Pirates as a blocker. Make 2 mana. Island. Cast Muldrifter. Okay, pass the turn. A little bit nervous about keeping my Faithful alive, but the rest of them can just throw right in front of all these attackers. They kind of have to just storm off with lightning bolts and stuff to kill me. There's a big pause right now, so it makes me concerned that they're counting out my life total. Plays a Flame Breather, so every bolt is 5 damage. Oh, geez. Bolts the Familiar. Okay. They can't attack. They are going to attack. I'll block. 100% of the time. We can now bolt this. Chain Lightning that. Okay. I can go Mortuary Mire. Get back. I can get back the Muldrifter and then preordain into the Muldrifter and cast the Muldrifter, or I can get back the Familiar. I think I just want the cards. Preordain, Pirates, and Muldrifter. So do I want the Pirates at this point? I think no, because I have creatures on the table to deal with them. I have mana. Just trying to draw into stuff to do. Okay, Faithful is huge. We're at 13. They need 3 bolts to kill me right now. Ren's Resolve is big. They need 2 bolts. They have Chain Lightning, 2 cards in hand, so we could be dead right now. The freaking Flame Breathers. Flame Breathers. So bad. I'm tapped out, so they can easily just 15 me. They go for Reckless Impulse, puts me to 9. They find 2 lands and a Dwarven guy, so now they can Chain Lightning me. Puts me to 4. We have Faithful into Preordain. We're looking for any more blue spells. Snaps would be great. Flicker would be great. Compulsive Research is decent. So I can Compulsive Research into Snap. 1, 2, 3. Compulsive. Draw some cards. Discarding the Evolving Wilds. Can Snap. It's Flame Breather. Then play an Island. So I think it's probably better to just go for Deep Analysis right now to draw more, gain more life, than it is to play out, like hold up onto the negate. Wow, it could be happening here. We have Familiar plus Flicker. We can Flicker back the Pirates. If we find an Arcanemancer, we'll do that. If we don't find the Arcanemancer, it might be better to just Flicker the Double Drifter with the negate available. So they can play. They're going to crack the Synthesizer, which is a surprise. We'll find a Mountain. They already had played a Mountain, though. So maybe that was a small error. They're looking to play the dwarf or play the flame breather, but the flame breather will deal more damage because I can simply block the dwarf. So it looks like it's coming up roses right now for us. Familiar, play deep analysis, no fear. Then I want to attack for 2 or for 4, flicker the 2 drifters to draw 4. Okay, so now I have infinite life if I get the pirate back. I have the negate. I think we just win here. Well, not just win, but we're basically in the point where we've won. We can snap the flame breather. It's funny because they're playing pingers and we're playing anti-pingers. And attack. Now a flicker. It's playing out exactly the way that I wanted my deck to play out, basically. They have a bolt for the Arcanemancer. I have a negate. Okay. Get back the flicker. And we draw a deep analysis. So the question is, do I hold up the flicker or do I just start doing stuff? So I think I'm just going to start doing stuff. Play the Modern Age. I'm going to tap out here, but I'm at a very high life total. I'll discard deep analysis, play a land, and then deep analysis again. I'm at 20. I can upkeep flicker to get back to pirates and then win the game via infinite life. Ren's Resolve for our opponent. And they have not played a land yet, so if they hit land and lightning bolt, they can take out the Arcanemancer. They find land Epicure. So I'm at 18. They have 1 card in hand. We just win. That was very lucky. Okay, so Hydroblast. Strands. We do want the pirates, right? So let's get rid of compulsive. I don't know, compulsive maybe. Maybe I just get rid of the negates. 1 flicker. Put the familiar back into the deck. 1 pirate. 1 negate. It's too bad we don't have a way to deal. So we have a bunch of answers. We have early stuff. We have prismatic strands. We have our draw package. We have the ability to go off, but not really relying on it. So that's the way it's going to be. Okay. On the draw. Hydroblast plus double preordain. We're on the draw, so we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 cards if we bottom. Okay. Pretty good start where we have Hydroblast into Chancery. And then we can go Faithful, Preordain, gain 2 life. Reckless Impulse, huh? Okay. That's the turn. Draw. Find an Evolving Wilds. So I'm going to crack this. Let's just pass. I'm playing a Synthesizer right now. I don't know if they're looking for lands or what they're trying to do. I think I just have to let that resolve. They find a Ren's Resolve. So if they go land, Ren's Resolve, I'm going to counter. They play a Chain Lightning. They do nothing. So let's grab a Plains. Sometimes it's nice to have the fetch at the end of turn. Let's go Faithful and Preordain. Or just Faithful Chancery. Pass. Holding up Hydroblast still for the pinger. Reckless Impulse. Now I'm going to counter. Now I feel like I'm getting ahead. Let's Preordain. We found a Snap, which is really good from this position. Okay, Arcanemancer and Wilds. So I'm going to top both. Preordain now. Don't want this one. I do want this one. I'm going to go land, grab an island, and pass. And I feel like we're getting to the stages where we're pretty ahead. They only have 2 lands. There's a Ren's Resolve. They find a Flame Breather and a Mountain, so they can play the Mountain. I think they're playing Pyroblast. So I guess I can Preordain. Okay, we find Faithful and Familiar. So I just take both. Play land. I'm going to Deep Analysis up to 7 cards. We'll draw the Faithful and the 1 unknown. The Pyroblast. Okay. Pretty much expected that, so I would much rather them Pyroblast a Deep Analysis than an Arcanemancer or whatever. They're going to go Kessig. This Faithful is just holding down the fort for real. Pretty much the unsung hero of familiars. Molten Rain, that sucks. Okay, I'm gonna go Faithful, draw 2 cards. No attacks, I guess. If they have another Molten Rain, I'll be sad. Well, that was something that could definitely turn around this match because we got just beat there by that Molten Rain. Wow. Took away 2 land drops, and then we tried to draw into a land and couldn't even find one. So this turn we have to probably Familiar, hold up, negate. Just does not feel good either. Opponent plays a Mountain. Molten Rain. Okay, you know what? Land. Play Modern Age. Looks like they have a Pyroblast. That's pretty much fine. They're on the control deck plan, and it's just not working out that great because 4 ways to kill me. All right, we've got a Flame Breather and a Forge Chanter. Let's grab a island or plains. Familiar. Snap this. And then I'm going to evoke my Mole Drifter to draw 2 cards. Go to 25. Look for lands. Find a land so we have the negate available, meaning we can play Archaeomancer, get back whatever, really, Hydroblast, and then just start going for Drifter, Drifter, and then flickering away, winning the game. Flame Breather. All I have is negate. I can't deal with the Flame Breather with that. Plays a Mountain, a Reckless Impulse. So I'm going to try countering this. Counter. They have a Pyroblast. Their last card. Okay. Flaring Pain and a Furnace. So they attack for 3 and we can just block. 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to go Faithful, Archaeomancer, and then grab the negate. Play the island and pass the turn. Triple Faithful is brutal. So I'm insulated against pretty much anything. I'm just trying not to get dead to a relic since I only have 2 flickers in the deck and 2 Archaeomancers. We lost a Modern Age and a Mole Drifter already, so that means that there's some issues. That means that we have fewer things to attack with, is what I'm trying to say. It put me to 27 and 26. Not that sad. Not scary. Plays a land, passes the turn. And we're going to put the nail in the coffin with Drifter Flicker. I found my 4th Faithful, so I literally had the opposite luck of last game. I cannot believe how lucky I got in these matches. This match. Okay. Flicker. Grab back the Flicker. And that's going to be it, I think. Just play the Chancery at this point. Next turn we have Infinite Life off the Familiar. We have double Flicker. We have a negate. So that's it. Slowly attack. Cracks the Synthesizer, so they get a card, Mountain. That's not what they were looking for. Play a Forge Chanter, which no longer matters. Wow. Can't believe that the turnaround. Okay, we find another Hydroblast. Just gonna play the Familiar. Play the Expanse. Terramorph. And that's it. All right, I guess we're on to the finals. From being sad and going terribly to just really turned it around. I don't know what it was, but I'll take it. We'll see you there. All right, we are here in the finals versus Cortez Monaro on the draw. So with this hand, we would be looking to rip a land, but I don't think that's good enough, so I'm going to mulligan. Okay, we have some things. I can put back an Archaeomancer, fine. And then I have turn 3, evoke Drifter or snap, get back snap, stuff like that. We're looking to go for Faithfuls and, I don't know, we're just make land drops, find Faithfuls, win the game. That's how it works. Land pass. They don't have a turn 1 play is pretty good. Nice Hopeless Nightmare. I'll discard, I guess, the tough. Alright. Postboard, we really have to watch out for that stupid curse. There's a lot going on in their deck that I have to deal with. Land, go. I think it's better to evoke a Drifter on turn 3 than to Compulsive Research, because we want the lands we're going to draw, if we draw lands. There's a Bogart. Vampire's Kiss. So we can snap the Bogart and replay the Arcanemancer. Or this. Maybe they're holding up. All right, I'm going to snap the Bogart and replay the Arcanemancer because this plays around an Edict for my Faithful. And then on the next turn I can snap and evoke the Drifter. If I draw an untapped land, I can just snap into Drifter. If I don't draw an untapped land, I can snap evoke the Drifter after playing the Faithful. There's the Bogarter. Kills the Arcanemancer. We're at 13. Really need to draw some lands. It's funny. Faithful. Snap. And then we're going to evoke. These two lands just do so much work. All right. Land and a Faithful. So next turn, probably evoke Mole Drifter and then cast Modern Age if I find a land. If I find a land off the top, I can just hard cast a Drifter. Double Faithful is really big. Prickly Bogart. And what do you got? I knew that was going to happen. They are going to loot. So I'd really like to find an untapped land off the top. We drew a bunch of cards. We've only seen 3 lands total. Didn't get there. Well, I can go Modern Age, discard the land, and then draw. Discard the Deep Analysis, sorry. Play a land, grab an island. I wanted to just thin actually a little bit, I guess. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it wasn't necessary. Another Faithful is great. Okay, what do you got? You're going to get in for 1, putting me to 12. And Morsel Theft. I don't know what that does. Loses 3 life, gain 3 life, and draw a card. Very solid. There's this Vampire dude. And Hopeless Nightmare. So we're going to discard the Modern Age. Puts us to 4, which is exactly how much they have. Draw and discard. Okay, I guess I discard 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Discard this island. Faithful. Faithful. Evoke a Drifter. That's a full turn, potentially. Play a land. Pass the turn. Next turn I'm going to gain 6 life. He's going to put us to 4. They're going to upkeep Scry. This deck is just really hard to deal with. If we see tops, we're going to be very sad. They only need to deal 3 life. They went bottom, bottom. Okay, they put us to 6 and then to 2. I'm looking for a snap. I'm looking for Mole Drifter, Arcanemancer. Preordained is really good. Preordained is going to gain us 3 life. Find a Mole Drifter and a Chancery. Let's top. I guess I can play 2 spells this turn, or okay, top and top. Play the Chancery. Pick up the island. Let's Compulsive Research. Go to 8. Discard a land. And then cast a Preordain. Going to 11. I'll top and top. And pass the turn. So now I have Prismatic Strands that I can stop these things from hitting me. If they don't find a... Oh no, they're going to put me to 10 anyway off the Reckoner's Raid. So they will get in for 4 here on the ground as well. I think I want to probably play the Mortuary Mire and then go Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. And then I can also play the Modern Age. Or just Drifter, Flicker, Drifter, then Modern Age, and then Mortuary Mire. Okay, we're at 6. So this is only 4 life for Drifter, Flicker, Drifter. We have the Prismatic Strands. Let's evoke this. Then I can Modern Age pitch the Prismatic Strands. Flicker here. Go to 10. Draw 2 more cards. We're surviving, that's for sure. Draw. Find Archaeomancer. I think the game is going to be in our favor now. Play the Modern Age. You can discard the Strands here. Then I can Mire back a Faithful. Discard the Evolving Wilds next turn. Seems fine. Or I can Mire back the Archaeomancer and then keep them off their creatures. Because I can Flicker for snaps. Alright. Attack. I'm confident now. Game's over. Alright, they draw a card. So we just have to win one of the post-board games. Looks like Prismatic Strands might be pretty decent. Not really sure what I want to bring in post-board. The Disenchants are good. Bump in the Night. Okay. So let's just Strands on black. That makes it so that we're not going to take 4 damage, which makes it a lot harder to get back this vampire from being active. Okay. We definitely need the Disenchant, at least one of them. I can probably cut an Archaeomancer and a Flicker, and then I could bring in another Negate just to protect my Faithfuls, or I could bring in the Strands. I could also cut the Pirates like versus the Burn deck as well. Bring in the second Disenchant. They're pretty heavy on... Is that even worth it? It's pretty hard to say. So like my last slot here, Flicker is kind of medium, although it does win the game. Pirates also is kind of medium. It's pretty slow. They're a pretty fast deck. So maybe the answer is just Strands for time. I talked myself into it. I'm gonna use the Strands. I'm gonna just pitch the Strands and then make sure I don't get attacked by these nonsense creatures. This is a not great hand, but we have get an island, get a plains, preordain. So preordain on turn 2. They play a Reckoner Raid, and puts me to, come on, there we go, 19. Land, grab a island. Okay, they're playing a Carnarium and picking up their land. Let's just, and they have nothing. Okay, come on, grab a plains and preordain. Top both of these. So next turn we're gonna go Familiar, Chancery back to plains. And then the next turn, Familiar, Snap, Answer Snap or whatever. Puts us to 15. I could snap this right now, but they'll still get... If I snap it right now, if I don't snap it, it deals me 4 damage, so I think I have to snap it. Doesn't actually matter if I play the Chancery first or not. So I guess I will. Go ahead and snap this. Actually, I could just evoke a Drifter this turn, but that would put too many cards in my hand. Play the Familiar. Pass the turn. Next turn, Familiar plus evoke Drifter. Or just spam plus Archaeomancer if they don't kill the Familiar. It's dead. Now we can go Familiar, get back to Familiar with the Mortuary Mire. We're at 14. There's their creature. Let's use my mana, get that back to Snap. This next turn I can go Familiar, Snap, play Muldrifter. And then I can Mortuary Mire something back. I need to find Faithful to save my life. We're at 7. This will be at 6. Familiar. Snap this. Untap. Play a Muldrifter. Island. Preordain. Find a negate. At least the negate is useful. We can double block the Reckoner Raid. So we know they have a Bogart and then 2 unknowns, plus they're going to get their vehicle. 3 cards in hand. Rift Rats. 1, 2. That's not great. Sign and Blood themselves. Okay, so no fancy Sign and Blood action this time. Let's snap the Crypt Rats. We can Mortuary Mire back the Archaeomancer. And then what? Nothing really? Let's Deep Analysis. Okay. Faithful. Let's Compulsive Research. Discarding a land, discarding the Evolving Wilds. Then we can Mortuary Mire back the Archaeomancer. Pass. I guess I can just attack. Crypt Rats in hand. I have a negate. I'm at 7 life now. Double block. I have negate for 1 mana. There's a Crypt Rats, so 3 mana available. I guess attacking was a bad idea because I can't block and kill the Nezumi thing. Okay, 2 damage on my Faithful. They're going to blow it up. Oh, I guess that kills everything. Okay, I'm at 3. I'm at 4. Draw. Evoke a Muldrifter. I thought is if I find an untapped land, I can flicker the Drifter. Okay. Find Faithful. So let that die, play the Faithful. Your turn. I have a negate, so they need 3 spells right now to be able to kill me. They're untapping. They've got 4 cards in hand. One of them is the Bogart, I think. It's not really Bogle, he's a Bogart. Prickly, not slippery. Prickly. Okay. So he plays a Hopeless Nightmare. We're going to go to 2. Now he still needs 2 spells. 3 mana. Crypt Rats. Okay, that's bad. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play Familiar. Play Archaeomancer. We're going to grab the Snap. Go ahead and snap that rat. Get out of here, Rat-a-tat. Play. So I think I need the lands right now. Let's just Modern Age. Probably just put whatever's on top in the graveyard. Okay. I could discard the Flicker. I really need the lands. The Flicker is really important as well. We only have 2 Archaeomancers in the deck. They're going to play the Rats. I'm going to get rid of the Muldrifter. It's a strange idea, but I want to be able to Flicker. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to put me to 1. I'm going to Flicker here. All their stuff is sorcery speed. Get back Flicker. I could also just get back Snap. Let's snap the Archaeomancer. We've got a 6 life. Okay, you have Crypt Rats. Maybe I should have snapped the Faithful. That probably would have been a wise choice. Oh, they only had... What just happened? Was that a punt? Did you punt? Oh, okay. Never mind. That was not a punt. Okay, my turn. Another Archaeomancer. Okay. Draw. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Archaeomancer. I think we win. Get back the Flicker. All right. So, I guess I pass. They're going to crack the Hopeless Nightmare looking for a spell off the top. I can Flicker on upkeep to get back the Familiar, make it more likely for me to be able to win, and then I can have infinite snaps soon. I can at least flicker snap some of my stone stuff. Okay, they have nothing. They get in for 1. Maybe it's better to just Arcane Answer for snap. Another flicker. The Arcane Answer. Get back to snap. Snap this thing. Okay. Your turn. Oops, I forgot to attack. My bad. Sorry, everybody. That was not intentional. I think I just end step flicker for the familiar. Okay, scooped it up. We ended up winning. Won the entire tournament. 3-2 to win. That's crazy. Wild. Gotta love sneaking in on breakers. Well, thank you everybody for watching this video with familiars with the weirdo list for Core Pauper. It was an interesting experiment. We found that there still have been a lot of really powerful cards printed in the last few years, as well as some really powerful old cards. I like this list generally. I think the compulsive was probably necessary for this. You could potentially cut a Ghostly Flicker for a Merchant Scroll. I don't think 3 Ghostly Flickers is really that necessary now, because we don't even have that many flicker targets, but it was interesting. If you do expect Affinity, you're going to need this, though. All right, thank you for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next video.